So moving on, Baloney Nation. We've got this question, which is ranking action shows from the 80s.
Ooh.
So we're going to go through this list, and we want to do 1 to 10 ranking on each show. 10 being the show is awesome, 1 being the show is trash.
Let's do it.
All right. Magnum PI.
I'm going to give it an 8.
I'm going to give it a 10.
You going to go 10? I would have went 10, but there was a lot of Magnum PI shows where they were a little on the softer side. Like, especially when Tom Selleck and Higgins and the pilot there are all stuck on an island that's getting ready to get blown up by a missile. Remember that episode? I mean, that was there wasn't a lot of action involved in that episode at all.
But I've probably seen every episode. It's one of my favorite shows, so I have to give it a 10.
I would have given it a 10 if the action was consistent throughout the show.
Yeah, they had lighthearted episodes. Do you remember the episode where Tom Selleck and Carol Burnett are stuck in a bank vault?
I don't remember that one.
It's a pretty good. It's funny.
But I love Magnum PI. If I could grow a mustache like Tom Selleck, I would.
The TV show Riptide, 1 to 10.
I'll probably give it an 8 as well.
You give that one an 8.
I'll give it an 8.
I'll go 6.
Okay, all right.
Miami Vice.
I'm going 10. I'm going 10.
I'm going to go 10 as well.
Yeah. They were one of the first shows doing the high-speed chases and stuff.
What they did really well was one of my earliest memories of Miami Vice, Bruce Willis was actually the guest star. Mm-hmm. This is probably before Moonlighting. He was a villain.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at the end of the episode, he beat the court case, and he was going to be a free man, and he was like on the court steps bragging about it. And I forget what he did, but the victim like comes up and just shoots him dead right there on the court steps. I'm like, okay, this is a serious show.
Yeah. Miami Vice was the first show that introduced me to cocaine. Not me personally with cocaine.
Calvin Cocoa Pop.
Wow.
I just remember Miami Vice being the first show where I was like, yo, that's drugs. That's cocaine.
Okay.
It was a heavy show.
Yeah. Wow. Knight Rider, 1 to 10.
I'm gonna go. See this. I'm gonna go a 7 on Knight Rider because a lot of the show was just them driving.
I'm gonna go a 6 because of what we talked about earlier. You remember it being a really good show, and then you kind of watch it now, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah. You're always like, every time you used to watch Kit pull up into the back of the truck, you just happen to catch the skid plate or the chain thing you used to pull the car up into the thing. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about A-Team, 1 to 10?
10.
A 10 for A-Team.
I'm going 10 for A-Team. There was always something, usually once or twice. There was always the scene that opened the show with the bad things happening to the people, then them finding the A-Team, then the A-Team kind of getting beat, and then they make their final stand.
After a montage of them building something.
Yeah,
usually involved Mr. T with a flame and a torch. And
Yep.
I'm going to go 7 on A-Team.
Really?
Well, I feel like the show had some great episodes, but a lot of the shows were just kind of the same. Here's a small town. We got to help this person.
Yeah.
I liked when the episodes had some more weight to it.
All right, so I'm going to rescind my 10. And based on that scale alone, I'm going to go an 8.
Okay. 8 for A-Team. How about Blue Thunder?
So, I'm going to probably go a 5. Because you know me with believability.
So believability-wise, you weren't buying it.
My problem with the shows that involve like helicopters and stuff like that is every single thing, crime, whatever, can't be solved by a helicopter. It just can't.
Yeah. I'll agree with you. I'll go with 5.
Yeah.
AirWolf.
So the fact that AirWolf, the helicopter on that show, used to growl. Remember that?
No.
When he used to take off and they were flying through the sky, the helicopter used to make this like growl sound in the air. But I'm going to go a 6 on this because it's the same kind of thing. It was more action than Blue Thunder, but at the same time, again, it was a helicopter. Not a lot you could do.
I'll go with 7 because I think the acting on it was really good. I think
true.
You have like believability from the actors. That goes a long way.
Yeah.
Do you have any lights in your camper? It's getting dark.
Uh-oh. We're getting dark in here. It is getting dark in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let's see if we can do something here. Let's do...
Oh, that's better.
Here we go.
I'll edit this out.
Leave it in.
How about the show Street Hawk?
Okay, so Street Hawk, I'll probably go a 6.
Do you remember Street Hawk?
That was the motorcycle, right?
Yeah, that's all I know though. I don't really remember. I don't think I watched it.
Yeah, Street Hawk was the motorcycle. Again, a lot of the show, very little of the show was actually spent on the motorcycle. And it's just, the scenes that were on the motorcycle were just unbelievable.
So what was your rating?
I'll give it a 6.
Okay. I'm going to not vote on this one because I don't remember ever watching it. Stingray.
I don't remember the show.
I vaguely remember this one. It was a guy driving a Stingray. It was kind of like a Equalizer type show.
Okay, all right.
I think I'll skip voting on it as well, though, because Crime Story.
Crime Story.
Crime Story was the show from the same producer-director as Miami Vice, but it took place in the 50s. It was Chicago Crime Story.
Okay.
Dennis Farina starred in it.
All right.
Really good show. I might go an 8 for Crime Story.
So I vaguely remember this show, but I do remember there was some pretty good stories in it, and I'm going to go probably a 6.5.
Ooh, we're adding decimals. Matt Houston.
I remember this show.
I do too. I liked Matt Houston.
What are you going to go, 5?
No, I was going to go 6.5.
Yeah, I'll meet your 6.5 with a 6.
Okay. Automan.
I don't remember this show.
Yeah, I never saw it. I can't say anything. Heart to Heart.
I remember this show. I'm going to probably go 7.
Okay, I wasn't as big a fan of this show, but I understand it was a popular show and it ran a long time, so I'll give it a 6.
Yeah. Okay. We'll give it its due diligence.
Simon and Simon.
Okay, so this show is probably a little younger for this show, so.
I watched it probably in reruns. It's very much in the vein of Magnum PI.
Yep.
Two brothers, detectives. I liked it a lot. I'm going to go an 8. Simon and Simon is a show I definitely like a lot.
I didn't watch it enough that I should make a fair rating on it.
Hardcastle and McCormick.
Okay, so I never watched this show at all. I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Never really watched it.
I vaguely remember, and I also vaguely remember, I think it debuted after the Super Bowl one year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to vote on it, though. The Fall Guy.
I'm going right. I'm not going to jump out the window on this one. I'm gonna go probably a 7.5 because a lot of the show was spent on stories, and then it ended with some kind of action scene with this truck jumping over a hedgerow that had the convenient ramps hidden behind it.
Yeah. The classic 80s action.
Yeah.
I'll go with 7 as well.
Yeah.
TJ Hooker. I don't think we've ever talked about TJ Hooker. This is our 42nd episode.
This is Mr. Kirk, man.
This is William Shatner.
Listen, he's not just him. He's the Sarge, but wasn't what's the actress's name that's in that with him? She was later on became a model or something, wasn't she?
She was on Melrose Place, right?
Yes, that's her. That's her. The one on Melrose Place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
Listen, TJ Hooker. I've watched a lot of those episodes because being on the overpriced satellite TV network, we get a lot of that stuff, and it's not bad. Some of the shootout scenes are pretty funny, but
yeah,
I would probably go a 5 on action on that show because there's not really a lot of action.
Yeah, so from the William Shatner standpoint, he's like fascinating to watch because his acting is so different than everyone else. But what I remember about the show is the show was terrible and I hated it. So I'm going to go a 4.
Yeah.
Last one on the list is a show called Highwayman.
I'm trying to remember this show, and I don't remember it.
What I think the show is, what I think I remember it to be, was like an anthology show where it was a different story every week. That's right. But I might be thinking of Hitchhiker.
I'm thinking it's Hitchhiker.
Okay. So I can't vote on Highwayman, though. I have no idea what that is.